KNTKFM.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village. Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 18th is 15% off chocolates, 15% off wines and spirits, and $10 off filet mignon per pound. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
February is American Heart Month, and with heart disease as the #1 leading cause of death in Nebraska, now is the best time to start thinking about your health. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure is one of the best ways to avoid heart disease, and the blood pressure screening is fast, easy, and can be free. The best way to get screened is at your yearly wellness visit with your doctor. For more information and ways to get a blood pressure screening, search Chronic Disease Nebraska. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We're the Old School crew. We are coming at you live out here at the complex, 1555 Yolanda Avenue. We'll be out here from 5 to 7. We're here for Lincoln's premier. We're at the Lincoln's premier boxing facility called the Complex, in the building formerly known as Champions Fun Center. It's owned by Tommy and Tina Arciega in connection with Southside Boxing Gym. Newly renovated, 17,000 square feet, 1,800 people capacity. Food and alcohol options are available. We're here for a little bit of prelim and then obviously weigh-in. Tomorrow, the event, the Heart of a Lion, is at the Complex. Doors open at 6. First bout is at 7. You can still buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com. Well, like I mentioned just here, previous weigh-in is at 6 p.m. during the show. So it'll be interesting to see, guys. We got some guys that look like they're still trying to make some weight. We got 9 professional bouts this Saturday, including Steve Arizola against Benjamin Branch, Jamar No Mercy Talley against Theodore Morse, Russell Harris versus Jeremiah Grady, and the headliner, Isaiah the Patriot Robinson against Jack Lawless Frericks.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Jay Foreman, good at names.
That's right. If it's not, that's his new name. Anyways, Old School is brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th Yankee Hill, 85th and Ondromat, 168th up there in Maple. Another note, Lincoln Stars against the Sioux Falls Stampede hockey from the Ice Box is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com right after we end at 7 p.m. So power-packed next couple hours and on into this Friday night on Valentine's Day. So we want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day, depending on your age, do you really celebrate it or not. But either way.
What do you love most about football, Jay?
About football?
Yeah, what do you love about football?
Why are you asking me that?
It's Valentine's Day. What do you love about football?
Oh, about what I used to love about football is competing. Learn a lot of life skills, communication, dealing with adversity, exceeding expectations. I mean, everything that you think that sports at its purity, it helps builds in some confidence, right? And that once you achieve some goals, you hopefully create some lifelong memories and also make some lifelong friends. And you become friends and colleagues with people that, if it wasn't for football, one, you probably would have never met. Number two, you wouldn't probably consider them being lifelong friends. And so that's a great thing about sports, but in football in particular, I think it's the ultimate team game. I think hockey and football are the two ultimate team games because ultimately when you're playing, you got to make a lot of sacrifice in order to be successful. Okay? You got to sacrifice time, energy. In some cases, to be on a championship team like the Eagles, you got to sacrifice some money. And then also you got to get lucky, and then you got to create your own luck. I mean, there's a ton of things that go into just playing a game, just winning a game.
A game. What?
Just winning a game at college or high school, college, pros is truly a team effort. You got to think you got 53 guys at the NFL level, 105 now, I think, coming in college, which then essentially about the same 53, 60 guys. You got to go out there and walk and chew gum and do the things you need to do to try to be successful while you're putting your skills, your practice habits, your personality, some of your deficiencies on display in front of, or in our case, 80, 90,000 people at Nebraska, and then obviously at the Super Bowl case in front of millions and millions of people. So, it takes a lot of courage to play, the game of football. The one thing I will say is, like, anytime anybody that plays football is tough. Because just
you got to be
practicing the sport is tough. And football, I think, is the most unique sport because you have to love football because you practice 90% of the time. You practice 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. You don't get to play 82 games like basketball. You don't get to play 82 games like you do in hockey, 162 in baseball, so forth and so on. And then once you get to the NFL, there is no other leagues to try to fall back on, and it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy. I think it's a shorter game. It's short sprints and stuff like that, and very physically demanding. And you got to be dealing with the aftermath. You got to be willing to deal with some of that, the effects after. So it takes a big commitment and courage. And this is not to minimize any other sport, but I'm just saying what you have to do in order to be successful in football is definitely love that sport and be obsessed with it and find different things just to go to practice. Just to, most teams are in winter conditioning looking at spring ball, where you're competing in a new landscape of college football. And how do you become motivated and stay motivated in this kind of, I call it the cupcake time, where you're working out, everybody's excited, you're not combating each other, a little bit lower stress levels, and everybody's on the same playing field. Sometimes you can get too comfortable in this whirlwind of off season, and then you don't understand once you get into spring practices, that is a season. You have to win every single day. And that includes even when you don't have a practice or whatever. So that's why football is a very unique sport. I feel like, I was very blessed to things worked out for me where I came here. I was just talking with my dad, just talking to him, and I was like, man, Dad, to be honest with you, now granted, I'm sure in this climate, I would have probably started lifting weights and stuff, whatever. But I said,
now walk through the weight room,
right?
Say, hey, how's it going, guys?
I would have to probably really honed in and focus on football if this is what I was trying to do in college. But you didn't have to do that when I was coming up. But just I said, Dad, if you'd have just took me, just who I was a good football player. I was, I never got caught from behind or anything like that in high school or anything like that, and was pretty good. I mean, obviously, and a good enough athlete. But I don't think I would have been a very highly ranked recruit because, I didn't pass the eye test. I didn't, probably, I ran track. I think I ran the 200 and I ran decent, and it was a, state runner up and multiple times state runner up in the long jump and triple jump. And I probably had a decent 100 time. I think 200 was more my sprint. So, now you need a, probably a track time or like I didn't go to any camps, so I wouldn't have had a 40 time. And I went to one camp, didn't take it that serious. I really did in Austin. And that was just,
Look at Jay Foreman coasting by on talent.
Well, it wasn't that. My dad, and this is interesting how time has evolved. Like, like when he came up and, his recruiting story of being overlooked at Penn State and just, he was a tight end and a defensive tackle in high school. So it was all about the tape. That was it, right? And I think there was unlimited scholarships, so forth and so on. But then you got to think, well, that's what he was telling me. Hey, as long as you play good football, you'll get scholarships or you get looks. And I remember we just had finished. This is dumb. I was thinking about this. It was the dumbest thing I could have done. Like, we went and we had an AAU national championship down in Phoenix, and we got fourth, or we lost in the semifinals. So you played like 5-6 games, in 4 or 5 days, if that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fly all the way back. Hadn't done anything with football. We did a little kind of like that was like we did like a little. We didn't even call it 7-on-7. We call it passing league. We just did with ourselves. So back in the day, did that a little bit, like a couple times, and then I knew they had a Minnesota Gopher camp, right? You're just trying to get looks and stuff, and I think it was before my senior year, and I had a pretty good junior year. Felt like I was starting to take off a little bit, but not really on the scale that I wanted.
Which was more important for you, your junior year or your senior year? Senior?
That back then it was the first 4 or 5 games of your senior year. But I went to this camp, man, and didn't have any like football cleats or nothing. Just had my like hooping shoes, just some high tops or whatever I played in it went literally from Minneapolis airport to the camp late. I don't even think I registered and signed anything. Right.
I'm Chuck Foreman's son. I'm at the camp.
Well, because
welcome.
The camp had already been going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
yeah.
They just ushered me in there, and they were like, "All right, we need you to run a 40." No training, nothing.
No stretching.
No
nutrition. No cleats.
Right off the plane to the 40, and I think I might have ran like a 4.8. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't in any type of football shape or anything like that. And I don't even know, I kind of ran it, but I didn't
run it right.
I didn't, train for it. So that stymied me a little bit because then they were like, oh, he's not that fast. And, Kevin Sumlin was the wide receiver coach. And, he tried to ask my dad if I was going to walk on. And then, them first 4 games, I was out the gate because after basketball was over, then I went right into, start getting ready for football season, start catching passes and all that. And, your boy was, I was, I was striking up the band 3 or 4 times,
cock the head back, all that good stuff.
So I was doing all that. And then, our quarterback who actually ended up going to Michigan a year later.
Is he wearing a vest now?
He does.
Or is he a turtleneck guy?
Jason is both. And the funny thing about it is he broke my rebound record.
Oh.
And he still lets me hear about it all the time. He's a great dude. He's actually the only dude that I like. He's one of Tom Brady's best friends. Actually, he was ahead of Tom Brady on the depth chart at one time.
Hello.
That's a trivia question. And he got hurt. He had had a slight sprain and a bone in his foot, so he was out, and they had to move because I only played offense, but to the safety, the quarterback, I got on defense. It was on like a butter popcorn. Light. Hey, Austin.
Like, where is this on my life?
Hey, Austin. I'll talk about cats. I was head hunting. Okay. I knocked out Dave Watson, who was a good friend of mine. We grew up together playing, basketball together. Was trying to hunt Lane down because he was quarterback. Knocked Lloyd Lee out.
How close did you get to Lane? Did you get him?
No.
Got it out too quick?
But then
scared?
I got a pick.
Good. Okay. Good.
I
That counts.
high stepped and he pushed me back, pushed me out of bounds, cussed at me, and then I hit him up for hit Boomer Jerry. I hit him up for probably about 240.
Woo!
Couple tuds.
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. All that good stuff.
15-yard penalty.
All that
dancing, and then after that.
So that continued into the NFL, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Then after that, yeah.
Set the bar.
That's probably I needed to nip it in the bud. Then after that, my Dan Henning. I want to give a shout out to Coach Dan Henning. He was the wrestling coach and he was our O-line coach. He's one of my good friends, man. And he's just him and his wife are retiring after the end of this school year.
Congrats,
man! And they're going out together. His son's great. Both their kids are great. He came up. I'll never forget after that game. He came up. He was like, "Hey," he's like, "I know Coach Grant mad at you." He's like, "But I think you sealed the deal last night." I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "You go." He's like, "You going D1?" He's like, "There ain't no doubt about it after last night." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." We end up winning. Then rest is history. But just because I was not developed, and so when you think about football, what I liked about it, I like it because it gives you it gave me a chance to come here and exceed expectations. I talk about the time when I'd start to kind of progress in the NFL. Actually, I was flying back to Buffalo for training camp going into my third year, and I started and then done pretty deep, started to kind of take off or whatever. This dude comes up to me. He's like, "You Jay Foreman?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "All right, what did I do?" Or whatever. And he's like, "Hey, man," he's like, "I just want to tell you." He's like, "I used to ref your games in high school." He's like, "I want to tell you congrats." He's like, "Because watching you in high school, I never would have thought you would have made it." And it wasn't that and he meant it like, "Dang, dude, you got a lot better."
You exceeded expectations.
Yeah, he exceeded expectations. And so at first I was like, I don't know if that's a compliment. He's like, but it's a compliment because, I went and worked hard and I had a lot of ways to upside. I was not developed or anything like that. But then I just wanted to prove people wrong and prove myself right and get better. And then, once you start to kind of get in shape and you figure I knew I could play the game. I knew I had a mind for the game. I had a new lease on life that, I always had got, when you're Chuck Foreman's son, they just put you in running back, give you the ball, let you do your thing.
Which you did, to your credit.
Yeah. And the best thing was I saw Lawrence Phillips and all those guys and the rest in peace, Calvin Jones. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not that good right now.
Then you decided to try to be Reggie Ball.
They tried to make me Reggie Ball, and that was not happening. I looked at that. I'll never forget. I looked at the. They send you this media guy. I looked at the receiving leaders. It was like Abdul Muhammad 20 catch. Like, man, I ain't doing it. That's a waste of my time, man. He's like,
I got better things to do.
Coach Brown was like, yeah, you have a big role in there. I was like, nah. If I'm gonna go play receiver, I'm gonna go to Iowa or something like that, and I'm gonna get the rock. And then play defense.
Let's just pause for a second and think about what you just said.
Iowa.
If I'm going to play receiver, I'm going to go to Iowa where I'll get the rock.
Well, no,
that's not something you've been able to say in the last 25 years.
Right. And I probably wouldn't have played receiver because me and Tim Dwight were on the same. He was going to be there. I would have probably ended up playing safety. I would have started. At least that's what they told me. But I had other options to go. But I just, I think that's the great. When you hear kids coming out of high school that only want to play one position, so forth and so on, I'm just like, man, you're missing the boat because the majority of the guys that are playing in the NFL. That's not even a position that they played. Like Ed Reed was a quarterback.
Yeah, people forget.
Right. My dad was a defensive tackle and tight end. He was a wingback or kind of flanker, whatever, all the way up until his senior year in college. And all the other guys that done different things. I mean, we got the combine coming up. Travis Hunter is supposedly, only, going to be work out as a DB. But look how great he is. I think the more that you can do and the more that you're open to a position change, I think it could open up things for it. And I was, blessed enough to have, some foresight. And I did not want to go cut block. I felt like I was just too good for that.
Turns out you were right.
Yeah, I wouldn't have came to Nebraska to do that. I don't even
Northwestern, Iowa,
I might be
K-State.
mad. I might be mad.
Go back to Kevin Sumlin before you cut block.
I'd be mad at Coach Brown if they had me over there. I probably wouldn't even talk to him to this day.
They should have stopped by yesterday, though.
It was. Coach Brown, he still looks the same as when he recruited.
Town of youth, baby.
It is, man. And you know the crazy thing about the combine, I know it's coming up here and stuff like that, Austin, is that you know, once you go, you know, the crazy thing, this is the hard thing about going this gray area here, right? And I heard on early break and them they were talking about PFF where Ty is ranked and Fedoni and all that. Like you go and you put in your work. Like yeah, I won 3 national championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, up for the buckets and all that great stuff. So you know, we were so simple-minded. We never talked about the pros. We never thought about it. We felt like if we played here, and hopefully they get back to this. If you play here, you play good enough, you're going to get a shot. Now, obviously, I was able to play with some special players, and things have changed. And a lot of these guys think they're going from high school to the pros, and college is just a pit stop. You know, God forbid you're still 1% of the 1%, and the half of that 1% of that last 0.5% make it past 4 years. That ain't never going to change, but it might change for everybody else. The funny thing about it is that you play good here and you do the things you do. You play good football, and then you're right back to square one. You don't know if you're good enough. Then there's guys out of Clemson that get drafted. You know the guys Nate Stinson that get drafted, or that you hear about, or Matt Hughes that he's almost 6'4" and you're only 6'2" and stuff like that. And then you got to go prove yourself again at the highest level. This time you playing for your check, and so that's the hard part. Because once you get there, literally, I think getting a shot is easier than sticking and making it and playing and getting better. Now, it's a little bit easier now because they don't really – there's not a lot of love for football. A lot of these guys don't love football. They love everything that goes with it. It was a little bit
When did
hard.
that change, in your estimation? What changed it?
Probably society changed. I think it softened everything when you couldn't really coach kids hard. I think people don't know the difference between a coach coaching you hard and doing it because he cares about you and he sees and he believes in you probably a lot more than you believe in yourself, versus some coaches taking shots at you personally. And I've played for both, and it's hard. And sometimes, I would tell you, man, sometimes it's just you might just got coaches don't like the way you look. You don't like your family background. I had some coaches that were intimidated by my dad. He never really was around, but just who my dad was. Now my dad has a bigger personality than me, rightfully so. He's, hopefully on the cusp of making the Hall of Fame. And those coaches, I think, probably remember him as a star-studded player in the NFL.
Right.
So, maybe they, a little bit intimidated by that and thinking, but, I think my dad always just told me just go work your tail off and, get what's yours. So I think that as society changes and coaching had to change, and then I think that kind of, made and then there just became so many options, club teams and all that, which rightfully so. There's more people on the face of the earth, but
and the slump for football is probably not something you can manufacture. You either have it or you don't.
No. Yeah. Well, no. I think you can become. I think you can develop it. Because I think once you learn what it is or what it means, like you could tell me in high school, or I could tell you I'm working hard, or I thought I worked hard. When you got here, just doing the bare minimum is the hardest thing I ever done. Just doing what you're supposed to do. Then you got to go. So, but then once you kind of become okay with it, and you break through that threshold, then I think then you can love it. Then you got to be just a competitor. I always felt like I wanted to see what it was like if I could get to the biggest stage. I like to compete. I liked the big games, and that was not something that I like had as a freshman, right when I was starting. Mm-hmm. It was something that I kind of had to train my mind. It's a learner. I mean, playing sports, man. You see dudes out there, I'm telling you, man, you there's more doubt, man. I'm telling you, I was just talking to some of my basketball players. They got games coming. I said, listen, man, I send them a text every once in a while. I said, you got to feed the faith and starve the doubt every single day.
Not every other day.
Every day.
Not sometimes. Yeah.
And that's huge. I mean, that's just in life in general.
Mm-hmm.
But being an athlete, everybody thinks you're not human. You are human. You got a lot of emotions, and it's hard to play, and it's a tough game, and it's, and you got to be tough, and toughness isn't just all the time physical. I think it's more mental. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting your butt.
Well, I mean, obviously, football is the physical game, right? I mean, you say collision sport more than contact sport. That you're going to get beat up. I mean, you've attested to that firsthand. But think about the mental fortitude it takes to not just willingly put yourself through, but to enjoy putting yourself through it, because you have to love the game to be able to do what you did at the level you did for as long as you did.
And that's where it's a catch-22, because you got to make sure you do more above and beyond, because it takes mental toughness to get out there. And like in my case, right, I was trying to make the extra play. I got ran over by Eddie George. Before I got to Houston, I'm running across the field, and Lamar Smith is it seemed like he dragged me for 30 yards. It probably was like 5, but it's on a national stage. And then, so you got to be able to you got to know that I've worked hard and I am good enough, because, it could be, and I will tell you, man, I won't say the linebacker's name. Michael Vick did something to a linebacker, and I will tell you, he was never the same since. And if you know who he is, he actually was Florida State linebacker, and he was a good ascending young player. And Michael Vick got a hold of him, and he never recovered. And he played a couple years after that. He never recovered.
But you're not the same.
Just not the same. And that's why, and it takes some heart to, there's a play one time that I covered. No, not on that play. That's the safety's fault. The one, you know what? Peyton must have been targeting me.
That's personal.
Yeah, man.
Dang.
He ain't allowed back in Omaha no more. I just was thinking about
Unfortunately
that.
for you, Tennessee baseball is still pretty good, and he has a very good chance of being back.
You know what? I don't even go up there that. I said, listen, man. Hey, bro, we was in the locker room together. But as I start to think about it, though, he threw one on me with Marcus Pollard, right?
Okay.
Now I broke up a couple, but he did that. I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I had my way with Dilger, so I was okay there. But I feel like now I think about it, man, he kept throwing Dallas Clark. You know what? I'm putting that on my notes on my phone, man. Me and him gonna have have a nice friendly conversation. Yeah, well, yeah. What you gonna try to say? I wasn't fast enough or something, man? So let's settle. I want to know what's up, Peyton.
Why are you coming at me?
Yeah, okay. But
he's just still mad about 97.
That's what I think it is.
It's got to be.
Don't be mad at me.
He made it personal.
Be mad at Jason and Grant. They the one tearing off. I did tear off. Now I will tell you this though.
You were a small part of it. You got it.
Not an interception. I was giving Peyton the business. But
he probably deserved it.
Anyways, man. But it's good down memory lane. What is about to go down memory lane, Austin, is the weigh-in. And I'm gonna tell you this though: when you box now, you got your team that leads you up here, and we got the ring back here. But when you in there though, ain't nobody can save you. That take a lot of courage to go in there. We're old school, Foreman and Orman. We are live out here at the complex once again. 1555 Yolanda Avenue. Get on the complex, Lincoln.com. Get your tickets. It is the Heart of a Lion event tomorrow. Opens at 6. First bout is at 7. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk about some more. Man, awesome. Did I ever tell you about the time I used to do Golden Gloves?
You did not.
All right, I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to tell you the reason why watching Rocky got me into it, and I had a decent record. But I'm going to tell you what happened and changed my life. And it just brought back memories right here. Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 18th is 15% off chocolates, 15% off wines and spirits, and $10 off filet mignon per pound. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Watch your boy get hit. Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Once again, we are live. Old School is live out here at the complex, 1555 Yolanda Avenue. Tomorrow night, Heart of a Lion is out here at the complex. 17,000 square feet, capacity of 1,800 people. Food and drink will be provided, and they have plenty of options available. Tickets are at the complex, Lincoln.com, or you can buy them as you walk up. We have weigh-in here in about 20, 25 minutes. 9 professional boxing bouts. The headliner is Isaiah the Patriot Robinson versus Jack Lawless Frericks.
You're right the first
We
time.
had him on last time, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right.
Good dude.
So yeah, man, you know, the little big head Rico is on the 1s and 2s back at the studio. When I mentioned
Finally.
I was
Welcome back, Rico.
I used to box or do Golden Gloves or whatever you call it for a little while, Austin, and I always and you know how I got started. Number one, when I moved to Minnesota from Maryland, I had some issues and was doing too much. So my dad was like, hey, we gonna just take you down and let's just see how tough you are, right? And it was more or less just being stupid as a kid. So we did it, me and guys I met, and I'm watching Rocky was the wrong thing for me because to this day, Apollo Creed, if you ever watched Rocky, he hit Rocky 5,000 times. Rocky should be dead.
Yeah.
But that's
should not be with us anymore.
right. And he had the fro.
Oh yeah.
And he was talking. He was flamboyant. So that's who I wanted to be. And then Rocky 3 came. Then I wanted to be a little bit Clubber Lang. So I tried to bring that to what I was doing. And I did I think I had 6, 7, whatever. And I had long
You were on
reach.
your way.
Yeah, I thought,
You were on your way. You were right there.
I'm
Yeah.
the world champ. And so I did it, whatever, and was having fun. And I'm thinking, and it was a great release, you know what I mean? And, discipline and taught you how to, throw hands a little bit. But my best friend Jamal's dad was a doctor, right? And I used to call him Uncle Fred. So we went down to I'll never forget, Minneapolis Convention Center, Austin. And me and Jamal and Fred was the ringside doctor. So we got in, we weren't in the event. It was great because it was like, we could get free Coke, got hamburgers, we got hot dogs, we kicking it.
Yeah.
Ringside. I'll never forget, man, this boxing match, and this kid was getting tore out the frame. And when you got that big headgear on, it's hard. You might get a little bit of a bloody nose if you get
maybe
hit.
puff lip if you.
I got
bite
a big
it
nose,
wrong.
but you got an easy target, but not much because you really protect it, especially at that age. Man, he was getting tore out the frame. He got knocked all up in the ring over there, bleeding at the
On the
mouth,
ropes, all
guard,
that.
right? But when he got hit one time, and I was eating, a whole bunch of blood hit the white cloth. I said, I'm done. I'm retired defeated or undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
That's it for me. I've seen enough.
That's it for me. The dude, he was laid out in the ring. His mom and them came in. I said, you know what? I cannot do it because you're going to get caught. And this kid, and I don't know who this kid was. He probably was too advanced for the age grade that he was in. I imagine he was a little bit old. He was tearing this kid. Body blows. He was throwing combinations at that age that you probably weren't, they weren't ready for. And so it scared me into basketball.
Protecting that pretty face.
No, I wouldn't say that. I was like, man, that blood was that was a lot of blood that I hadn't seen at that age everywhere. I was like, Fred, you gotta get in there and stitch him up. Yeah, he busted up pretty bad. So that was the start and end of my boxing little amateur career very quickly.
3994 on the text line is giving you the business here, Jay.
What do you say?
3994. Let's just go in order here.
Damn.
Jay, you don't got no fast 200 time. Who you think you kidding? Jay running his 200. Gif of a sloth. And then he sends this gift. Jay boxing. He's coming at you.
Well, I will tell you, I had a good 200 time because I could run the curve, and then once I get that, I cock the head back.
Why the 200 for you, not the 100?
Long strider. Didn't really, here's what my biggest problem was. My biggest problem.
What's the biggest problem? Jay?
I thought I was sweet, man. I did, man. I am not gonna lie to you. I wasn't arrogant, but I really thought.
Your stuff didn't sting.
I did. I did. There's only 2 times that I got humbled. Or one, the first. You want to know the first time I got humbled?
Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh yes. So there's 3. Racine, Wisconsin. We still talk about it on Racine. But the first time I really got home, I'll never forget this, man. And this is and you talk about the difference of hard parenting now or parenting hard and then being straight up versus like with my dad. So my dad, it was funny. So growing up, my dad would never come to the games like outside the car. It'd be 100 degrees. He's sitting in the car because he didn't want the intention to be about him, right? So high school, he was coming, and I'll never forget. I was a sophomore playing varsity, and we were playing a rival, and I'll never forget. It was kind of a colder game or whatever. My dad used to wear this black trench coat, leather trench coat, the long one.
Oh, all the way down?
Yeah, like gangster, like a mug, right? And so, I was frustrated in the first half. I wasn't getting any touches. Brother only touched it like 3-4 times, and I never not. That's the huge jump going from being the feature to being on varsity and just now you're not the guy or whatever. What's up, little dude? That's how that dude looked at when he got knocked out.
Less blood this time.
And my dad was like, came over trying to give me some encouragement. And I was like, I kind of like shoved him. I was like, man, I got this. He's like, oh, you got it, huh? I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
did you got it in the second half?
And disrespecting him. I did okay. But when I got home, he was like, you had it, huh? And we lost. We lost. He's like, you had it, huh? And I was like, yeah, I did this in the second half. When I tell you he jacked me up, lost it on his forearm, had my feet dangling, I ain't never seen him move that quick.
Call him Chuck Forearms, that Chuck Foreman.
But I ain't never seen him move that quick, though. I mean, he was just talking to me real frank. And then, boom. And I was like, yes. that was the first time I got humble, right? And then I came back, Return to the Jedi. And then I had a really good friend named Brian Cohen. And his brother, they all went to play Division I and stuff. And so he was big into weights and stuff. And his older brother, Chris, was the track coach. He was the jump coach. And he'd always try to get me to, practice. And, I was just out there doing, winning meets. Off the rip.
Yeah. Natural.
I don't need to practice.
We talking about practice. So we talking about no meets. We talking about practice.
He was waiting for me one time out there. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm sick. My back hurts, right? I'll never forget. Man, I was crazy, man. I was in the gym hooping, pants sagging, hooping. And just that stuff, I thought I was so. That's why. So then he'd always talk to me. He's like, look, man, your second kick is fine. He's like, we got to work on your start. Yeah, whatever. I just, prancing out of the start. I got up there against this dude named Carl McCullough, who actually played at Wisconsin, and when they won the Rose Bowl with Barry Alvarez when they first kind of got back. And Carl was 19. I was 16. I mean, he had like beard and everything like this. When I tell you I done heard about him, right?
Yeah.
Carl McCullough, seen him on the news, the big old running back, and he went to Cretin-Derham Hall, and they recruited and stuff. So they weren't even in our like division
district,
and they was just beating everybody because they were playing like it's a bunch of chumps. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, this dude, Carl McCullough, this is Jay Foreman. Carl McCullough got out that 100. I don't even know if I was out the blocks. I said, well, I better start. I start listening.
Chris, you were right.
Chris said, you learned your lesson? I said, yeah, I learned. That's the second time
I'll see you Monday.
Humble. Yeah, that's the second time I got humble, man. And then and Racine was that. But see, the thing is, I'd learn and then come back, and then I started working hard and practice and all that. And then, like when you get, I'm like, man, my dad pretty much told me, he was like, look, man, if you don't get a scholarship, man, you ain't going to college. You're going to like Normandale Community College. So then I made, Nebraska, and my academics was good because my dad, pushed academics first. I got the big head, and that's why I got down to Nebraska. And I was like, man, I ain't lifting no weights. I ain't lifting no weights. I don't need no weights. Don't you know who I am? I'm Jay Foreman. Hey, Austin. That lasted about 2 weeks. It did because we had the freshman practice, so you just going against high school kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, man, this is D1. Because, you had my boy Octavius McFarland. He came down, and he was from Bastrop, Texas. We had cats from California. And I'm going to tell you one thing my dad told me. He said, man, dudes from California, Florida, Texas, they think they invented football. Like they play a different brand, like they playing semi-pro.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything.
In high school.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my dad was like, pretty much, they ain't blankety blank blank. he's like, you a foreman, you going to represent. So I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then we get into practice, I'm handling business.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that varsity came in, man, and I got them little pea shooter arms. Jason Peters still talk junk to me. He says, you got pencil arms. I ain't have no definition. I just had I had no pecs or nothing. Just had like two, like just like nipples or whatever. I just had nothing. Knock knee, walk
Slow
on my
foot.
walk on my tippy toes. And then we had this cat named Riley Washington. He would always draw like, people. He was a really good artist. He had me up there slew-footed, calves, knock knee, all the freshmen up there.
Here, let me see if I can do Riley Washington drawing Jay Foreman real quick.
Yeah, that was it. That's all he did. Stick man. Then I was like, I gotta catch up. I was like, then I started to have to work out an extra day, and then so for me, then it took off. But man,
and see, that's where I would argue the Foreman actually showed.
That was it. But
that's where it showed, because you didn't give up. You didn't say, no, I'm too good for this, bump this, I'm going somewhere else where I can keep coasting.
Yeah.
You dug in.
Yeah, well, in the
begrudgingly maybe, but
the
you did.
reason why I dug in is because it was good peer pressure. I did not, because I'm going to tell you this, my high school coach, the last kind of supposed workout I did, and all I did is I wanted to make the 300-yard shuttle, because they were like, you have to make this, right? So that was like the conditioning test. Mm-hmm. The worst thing you could do is show up out of shape. I can do the conditioning test. So I was running it, and I remember him coming to talk to me, and I remember when I said I'm gonna go to Nebraska. He's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, I can't say what I said to him. I said, "Yeah." I said,
"Yeah."
Blankety blank. What's it? He's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "First, you're not gonna go to Miami." And I was like, "No, it's like they ain't recruit me as hard," and kind of went through it. And I said, "I'm going to Nebraska," and he's like, he pretty much like, "Man, you should maybe think about going to Kansas State or Missouri or something like that." This and this.
Jay, they're playing your music.
Yeah, see,
they're playing your music, Jay.
That's my interest music. And
he's back.
And I'll never forget, man.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 18th is 15% off chocolates, 15% off wines and spirits, and $10 off filet mignon per pound. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
If you don't have Valentine's Day plans this year, strike up some romance at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards. Head to Madsen's on Friday, February 14th for the first ever Love on the Lanes, a live stage front dating show like Lincoln's never seen. The show is free, live on the bowling lanes with audience participation, hilarious Q&As, and unexpected twists. The show is free, but reserve VIP seating by emailing Sarah at madsonslincoln.com. Come for the love, Stay for the laughs and leave with memories or a match on Valentine's Day at Madsen's.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planter Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planters and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planter Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Husker fans, Nebraska needs you in the vault for the last two women's basketball games on Wednesday, February 19th and Sunday, February 23rd. Their last two opponents, Oregon and Washington, have never played in Pinnacle Bank Arena before. Give these two new Big Ten members a warm Nebraska welcome and show them why Nebraska fans are the best in the nation. For a limited time, you can secure your spot at both games for just $10. This deal won't last long. Get your tickets before tip-off on Wednesday to cash in on this incredible offer. Go to Huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Sorry for the connection issues. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Quick segment, then we'll get back on schedule here. We got a couple weigh-ins in Austin. It's not no different than when you see UFC or when they have boxing on pay-per-view. You know that you can start to feel some of the excitement coming in. You got some guys that are coming in with their families and friends and some of their kids. So it takes a lot of courage to go. You talk about courage playing football. You got to go out there and be in a full-fledged fight.
Yeah, no. There's a reason. No.
Yeah, at our age, you fight because you have to. These dudes fight because they want to.
Because they want to.
And then, more importantly, they
bless them for it.
They fight every day that they train. With sparring and stuff. So, it's starting to get cracking, man. And so,
I might do it for one of those trophies though. Those are pretty sick.
That's what I was seeing. One of the trophies. Yeah,
pretty tall, man.
Yeah, it'd be
wouldn't even fit on the mantle. It's too big.
It'd be really cool when you think about. Obviously, everybody's has heard about. Bud Crawford, fighting sometimes when he started for $60. Now look at him, he's probably the pound per pound best fighter in the world. Not probably, but is. Where you never know one of these guys if they really, get a look and get going. You never know who can come out of it because they're definitely, to do it. There's talent, and then you got to have the want to, and then you got to get the opportunity. So hopefully, they take advantage of the opportunity. Come tomorrow night. But we're gonna take a quick break. Come back at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. See who we get to see. Who gets to weigh in, see if we can get a fighter or two or a promoter come over here and talk to us. But Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we're live out here at the Complex. Once again, 1555 Yolanda Avenue. Go to thecomplexlincoln.com to get the tickets for tomorrow. Doors open at 6. First bout is at 7 p.m. Great atmosphere, man. This thing has really grown since the first time we came out here, Austin.
I barely recognized the
I
place
did too,
walking
man.
in.
This is
awesome.
This is great. They've done a really good job, or not a really good job. They've done a great job out here. But we're going to take a quick break, come back in a couple minutes. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
If you don't have Valentine's Day plans this year, strike up some romance at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards. Head to Madsen's on Friday, February 14th for the first ever Love on the Lanes, a live stage front dating show like Lincoln's never seen. The show is free, live on the bowling lanes with audience participation, hilarious Q&As, and unexpected twists. The show is free, but reserve VIP seating by emailing Sarah at madsonslincoln.com. Come for the love, stay for the laughs, and leave with memories or a match on Valentine's Day at Madson's.
Husker fans, Nebraska needs you in the vault for the last two women's basketball games on Wednesday, February 19th and Sunday, February 23rd. Their last two opponents, Oregon and Washington, have never played in Pinnacle Bank Arena before. Give these two new Big Ten members a warm Nebraska welcome and show them why Nebraska fans are the best in the nation. For a limited time, you can secure your spot at both games for just $10. This deal won't last long. Get your tickets before tip-off on Wednesday to cash in on this incredible offer. Go to huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Hey volleybal fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We are out here at the complex, 1555 Yolanda Avenue. One more hour. We're at the complex formerly known as Champion Fun Center, owned by Tommy and Tina Arciega, in connection with Southside Boxing Gym. It's newly renovated, 17,000 square feet, 1,800 people capacity, great food and drinks, and plenty of options, not only for the rest of tonight, but also tomorrow. And tomorrow, the event is called Heart of the Lion. It's at the complex, once again, 1555 Yolanda Avenue. Doors open at 6, first bout at 7. You can pick up tickets in advance at thecomplexlincoln.com, or obviously come up or walk up and buy your when you come out here. Get here early. Weigh-ins have already began. There's 9 professional bouts this Saturday. With Steven Arizola versus Benjamin Brandt, Jamar No Mercy Talley against Theodore Morsi, Russell Harris against Jeremiah Grady, headliner Isaiah the Patriot Robinson against Jack Lawless Frericks.
You got 3 good nicknames there, Jay. No Mercy, the Patriot, and Lawless.
I like it. I think Jamar No Mercy Talley. I like that. So they're right behind us, and I think they're getting all the last, dotting their I's and crossing their T's. And, look, man, I can tell you this. Obviously, I dibbled, and it is a long time ago, right? But these guys out here, at our age, Austin, you generally only fight for your family, your kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you have to. These guys want to, and they do it for a sport. But then also you talk about courage and want to, and what you learn through the sport of boxing. It helps you with confidence. And the one thing they do out here at the complex, they do a lot of stuff for people to work for, like work release programs.
Yeah.
And they come with like at-risk youth where they have a place to come. Obviously, get some of the, days stressed out and stuff like that. So they do some really, really good things. Clyde Godzilla Johnson is the headliner. He's battling, I think, a little calf injury. He said he'll be back. Normally he would be headlining, but he's not able to participate and fight. But his Southside Boxing Gym, along with Tommy and Tina, have done a really great job out here of transforming a place formerly known as Champion Fun Center, who've been here, I think, forever, into the complex. And then obviously doing it for the betterment of the youth and adults in Lincoln, but then also putting on some great events, and it's starting to get intense in here. So, Austin, we got cut off a little bit, but, the one thing I always say is that it's never where you start, where you finish. Here's a great thing.
The truth.
The last time that we were out here, the young, tall lefty,
Mm-hmm.
It was him, and it was in another fighter. And I was at Chipotle. He was working back there, and he recognized me, and he said he won his fight. And every time I go in there, I don't go in there much, but every time I see him, man, it's always great. You see the confidence in him that he's gotten from the sport of boxing. And, boxing has came a long way because, I remember one of my fondest memories is being on the couch with my grandfather and watching it on CBS. You'd watch, like, world champions, and now it's all pay-per-view. So, hey, it's a good thing, man. It's the sport of boxing it's one of my favorite things to watch, not participate in.
Not after Golden Gloves, right? You just told that story in hour 1. Don't forget, you can check out the podcast if you missed that, wherever you get your podcast. But not only is boxing a sport of discipline where you have to wait for your moment, recognize your moment, take advantage of it. Obviously, the training is extremely, regimented. You got to be disciplined for that. But what Tommy and Tina are doing here at the complex is not just giving kids, just that outlet. Oh, right. Come hang out here. All you get to do is box. They make sure that they're laced up,
right?
That the school is taken care of, that the home is taken care of. And obviously, they are a place for kids to go, no matter what the home situation, school situation may or may not be like. but school comes first.
Yeah.
School's not taken care of, you're not going to be here. That's their thing.
Yeah, and you can do some of the stuff, I think, like work release and stuff like that. But I think it's what they do is for the betterment of everybody involved, and they do a lot of life lessons and teaching through the sport of boxing. And that it takes some. You talk about sacrifice, right? It takes a team or a village to raise a youth, but then also to hold them accountable and make them better people. And so, when people are doing things for the right reasons, you're able to grow a complex like this. I remember when we first started coming out here, it was a little bit bare bones. Now you see sponsorships. You see the American flag up here. And the way that, I think the first time they might have only had like 6 tables. Now the whole place. The whole place is
and more seating back there.
More seating back there. Remember they had the
bleachers.
The bleachers
Yeah.
back there. And now they have, a beer station and spirits over there, a 4-service kitchen and beer stuff and libations over there. Then they have upstairs, I think, for VIP. So this is great, man. I mean, it's awesome, and they bring in some, really, really good talent and good fighters, and it brings a lot of excitement. And then also, it's something to do because it's put on by great people, and always has a great turnout. So this is a really, 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 really good place and good event out here tonight. And tomorrow is obviously with the Heart of a Lion. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top because when you're at this level, Austin, you got to be active. You got to be fighting it a lot and
not passive, not hanging back, not sitting on your record.
No,
you got to go prove it. You got to go earn it.
Yeah, I mean, and then you just never know who you're really going against. And, the funny thing about it, I remember they had a UFC event kind of like that at PBA, and then I'll say his name just because it was no big. Steve Warren was going to it, and we were going to hang out afterwards. But I wasn't going to go. He was like, man, come down and hang out. We're going to go to this first or whatever, right? And UFC, I'm not a big UFC fan, at least especially at that point. I mean, I'll watch it a little bit, or I like watching highlights. And I'll never forget, man, this guy, there's one guy getting introduced. He just walked out, no entourage. And to be honest with you, he looked like just a regular dude you see at the library. He looked like Bach. Straight up, like unkept hair. Just came out there, you know what I mean? Just looked like he just got off work,
Side hustle.
Right. Side hustle. He's sitting there waiting, they introduce his name and all that. And then the next thing you know, the other guy came in. He came with some music. How you doing, man? He came with some music and dancing and all this and came in and tried to intimidate the dude. Man, old buddy, the first dude knocked him out in 9 seconds. 9 seconds.
It reminds me of those kids in like Supreme basketball or whatever that have like the leg sleeve, the arm sleeve, the headband, 2 different color shoes, the sweatbands, and they get crossed up first possession.
Right, yeah. But that dude got to put him down, so you just never know who you're going against, man. And you got to take everybody serious, especially you're in the fight game in the sport of boxing or any sport, and especially this, because if you could be winning the whole fight, you let your guard down one time, you'll be asleep, and or let alone you got to work for it. So it's pretty exciting. What they got going on. You're starting to see more people come in because to them, this is kind of like media day for the Super Bowl. This is the prelims and obviously the weigh-ins, which is a big deal because, it's not just showing up, in this case, Saturday night, right? It's 7 o'clock. It's all the work beforehand. You got to weigh in, and then I think they can, rehydrate and all that stuff before they really get after it. And, it's always a science to it. You got to be disciplined. There's no days off. You can't, even if you're not training, you can't take a day off from meals. You can't go out too late because, you don't want to live with that pain or regret. And so, you see some guys over there shadow boxing, trying to get some last little, some things going in and hopefully tomorrow they'll be able to show and prove.
Tomorrow's the Heart of the Lion event. Again, you get tickets at thecomplexatlincoln.com. When you hear Heart of the Lion, what do you think? I know you're a Wolves guy.
Yeah.
You're a big pack of Wolves guy, but Heart of the Lion still,
King
Jay.
of the Jungle, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah, man.
Which that one kind of confuses me. I'm not going to lie, Jay. I've gotten more into the whole like lion scene with my kid, right? A lot of lions and tigers and whatnot. I feel like lions are more like King of the Savannah.
Yeah.
And tigers, King of the Jungle.
Well, tigers are
the actual jungle cat.
Tigers are almost like 2 times as big as lions.
On
But I think the mindset of the lion.
Yeah.
That was it. And so the one you gotta embody what the event is, the Heart of the Lion, and it's gonna be good competition. You got 9 professional bouts, and so you got to be patient. If if you're one of the first bouts, you got to get the party started, get the crowd going. You want to get a W, and then whether you're in the middle, you got to make sure you don't fall asleep in your preparation. And that is just no different than Super Bowl week. Learning how to focus, be patient, and understanding the game. The Super Bowl game itself is a lot longer, more of a production, and this is it too. So it's one thing to come and work during your sparring, right? Say you want to spar 8 rounds or whatever you do, during your training session. It's a lot different because the first bout is at 7. If you're in the middle, you might get here at 5. You don't fight at 9.
Woo.
So that means you got to lose focus. You can't actually be so focused that you almost lose all your intensity before you get out there. So there's an art and science of that, and that's where experience comes in. That's where your corner comes in. That's where your patience comes in as well.
Golden Gloves, Jay Foreman. Do you like getting the party started? Do you like easing into the moment, sitting watching some other people?
Oh man,
go through it.
Well, back then I was probably fighting some chumps anyways.
They probably thought they were fighting some jump too. You taught them. You taught them.
I told you, man. I was looking at myself and thinking I was a 10 and I was a 4. I thought I was Apollo Creed, and that's the worst thing because Apollo Creed, when he be in the fight, his afro never got messed up.
No.
Yeah, man.
It's the perfect hair.
And then here come Clubber Lang. I thought it was Mr. I love Mr. T. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just throwing nothing but hooks. So I wouldn't mind fighting. I like the big fights or whatever. So yeah, but who knows? If I fought somebody with heart beating a pulse, he might have put me to sleep. It's an art learning how to deal with the pressure, Austin, and rise to the occasion. Because as a young athlete, and some of these guys that are maybe new to the fight game, you kind of go through this stage where you'll go through a game or a fight waiting for somebody to make a mistake versus that's playing not to lose versus playing to win. And that's a lost art, learning how to do it, because in every sport, youth going all the way through, they play so many more games, losses aren't taken as serious. Just think about like club basketball or something like that in the summer, especially when they're younger, you might play 50 games. Well, heck, you might play the same team 4 times.
Yeah.
And then you won 3 of them, and all right, I'll let them win 1. Whereas like, if this is all you got, then you got to really, really focus in and try to win that game, that match, that, boxing or whatever it is. And so that's why, mentally it's such a different era. But then when you're in this kind of combat sport, this is about as old school as you can get, mano a mano.
And you can't simulate it.
No.
You can't just punch a bag and say, yeah, I'm good to go for a fight.
Yeah.
You can't just tackle bags and say, oh, yeah, I'm good for national championship game. You can't simulate those moments. You got to go through them.
Yeah.
You can put in your best practices. You can do mindfulness. You can do all the training. You can hit your teammates and whatnot. But, Jay, you can speak on this. It's different. Once you get to the actual scene, the actual week leading up to a national championship, the media days, the hype, the whole blue, and then, oh, wait, we still got to go play Florida. Or Florida's got to come play us, obviously. But.
Yeah, dealing with that. We saw that, like I remember a few years ago we played Ohio State and we had college game day here or whatever. And the perception was that we were all the way back because game day was here. Well, they were probably here to watch Ohio State versus Nebraska. But that score was not indicative of the talent on the field between the two teams. The score was more indicative of the experience. Ohio State deviled in that. Yeah. They played in big games. They had it there. It was just rinse and repeat. Actually, if they would have been here without anything, would have probably worked out well for Nebraska. That's why when you go and I don't believe in you catch a sleepy Ohio State. I felt like Nebraska showed the potential enough to show you how good they were. They can compete with the eventual national champion versus like learning how to prepare for it, understanding, you're not going to ever sit down with Chris Fowler or Kirk Herbstreit and them really not fluff you up and tell you how good you are.
Right.
You got to be able to shut that off after you put the headset down when you do the interview and then get right back to focusing. Dealing with now they have social media, which is you got big following and that can and that's your safety net, your crutch, because you got 10 million people probably telling you how great you are. And so that's the hard thing to deal with that. There's a lot more distractions. There's no doubt about it. And the ones that really make it know how to minimize those distractions or deal with those distractions as effectively as possible. And there's no different when you think about this, this event here, Heart of a Lion. Whoever assuming that everybody's comparable in skill wise, whoever is able to focus for these next 24 hours generally will have the leg up or two, to win the fight tomorrow.
I saw this, and I maybe it's more of a full segment we can get back into, but I think it fits with what we're talking about. So Henry McKenna is the guy's name, NFL reporter and columnist for Fox, says on Twitter, there's no doubt the Chiefs were exhausted going into Super Bowl 59, playing around 20 games for the last 3 years, finishing with one of the biggest circuses in the sport. It seemed to lead to some burnout. And one of the things he wrote down was before the game, a Chiefs coach told him that media members had been asking him if going to Super Bowls ever got old. This coach told me bluntly, it does. There was legitimate Super Bowl fatigue from this Chiefs team. It was completely clear in the first half when things escalated quickly. You can love the Super Bowl. You can love football. I'm not going to tell the Chiefs how to handle Super Bowl week. But you've been through the grind of a long season.
Right.
I can only imagine 3 times in a row getting back to that stage. I'm honestly still, Jay, a little disappointed that the Chiefs didn't handle the moment better. But so few teams have gotten to that moment. There's no blueprint for them for how to handle the third one, right? You can see how teams handle back-to-back Super Bowls. That's happened before. Still rare. But to go to 3, that mental grind, that fatigue, the circus, the dog and pony show, not just this season, it is a cumulative effect. It seems like it added up for Kansas City to some degree.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you go deep in the playoffs, whether it's basketball, football, hockey, or whatever, you do get fatigued. I don't buy that because if they win, they're like, well, it means even more because you're able to battle those things.
Yeah.
Whatever coach would say it gets old, it means you are actually, that's entitlement to me. That means you're not appreciated because trust me, being involved in the NFL for 9 years and 8 seasons and only getting a couple 3 games in the playoffs, and you're playing this every single year, going to the heights and winning, and you're saying it gets old? No, it never gets old because you want to know why winning never gets old. And yes, you can get fatigued because your body is just worn out. But their body, actually, I would argue other ways. Their body's more ready for this than the Eagles because this is their clock.
Yeah.
You got plenty of sports science behind it that they could be rested. I just think this Philly team is the best team. The 2 best teams that they ever had to face, they got blown out by Tampa Bay and this Philly team. The first Philly team had huge holes.
Yeah.
San Francisco, easy money. And this is not taking anything away from it.
It kind of sounds like you are. Explain how you're not. Because
when you're playing the best teams that you're playing, that's where you got to get up for. That should be the excitement. That's why I find it hard that yes, the fatigue, but man, you had a week off.
You did. Yeah.
You should have known how to handle the moment. I don't know. I mean, I do understand there is probably some validity to it. I don't think that's the reason why they play.
And again, that's one coach. That's not the whole team saying that.
I think they play. This is the best team that they played.
Yes.
They had the best offensive line. They had the best defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They had the best roster.
Yeah.
And those dudes wanted some get back. And some of the chinks in the armor were masked by superior talent on offense. Tyreek Hill, the first version of Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, the plethora of running backs.
Not the film on Mahomes.
In a better offensive line, and Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the point in time, the emergence of Spags in his defense and Apex Chris Jones, etc., feasting on teams that didn't have the mental edge. They faced a team with the same edge.
Yeah, it wasn't an advantage for Kansas City anymore.
And I think every other time it was an advantage. And that's fine. I mean, they had a great run. They probably deserve some time off. How they handle this from a rest and recovery, mental repair standpoint is going to probably dictate the next 2 or 3 years for them, next 2, 3, 4 years for them.
It's interesting hearing this discussion, too, about, Mahomes' legacy. Is it still intact, yada, yada, whatnot.
Why isn't it?
Well, Tom Brady went 3-2 in his first 5 Super Bowls. That's what Mahomes is. Jay, it took Tom Brady 10 more years to get the next one. And that's the greatest dynasty in football.
Right. But they always were there.
They were always there.
And when you beat them, it was a huge win.
Well, Kansas City have that same effect on the league.
In this day and age, I don't know, because I don't think the dedication for players is there.
Okay.
you got to think those were prime years of Gronk, prime years of different. It reshaped the defenses of the Patriots. Superior. You got to think guys like Vince Wilfork was through there. They had, at the beginning had greats like Ted Washington and Keith Tractor Trailer. Those guys. I think Kansas City can, because as long as Andy Reid and Veach and Mahomes is there, you +7 getting off the bus. So you're gonna win it, and plus you got support, Kansas City. So I think they can. I don't know if it can be as long. I mean, you got to think Patriots had a 20. But I think it's going to take, depending on if Kelsey comes back, how they replace some of those things. And then what the Patriots did, they reshaped their team like 5 times over that 20-year period.
Yeah.
So Kansas City at the beginning of this run are all offense. And now the last 2 years specifically probably been more defense. What do they do next? Because Tyreek Hill ain't coming back. Or, he's done. And then he's been done out of there. But then obviously then Kelsey.
Yeah.
That's a lot different, because when you had the 3-headed monster, it didn't matter. Them dudes, they were unstoppable that time.
And it's not like New England was the surefire, hands down best team in the league all those years in the 20. Yeah, they had their run in the AFC East, but like you said, New England was always around. They had that mystique, that aura of they're not the matchup you want in the playoffs. We can make a run. Oh crap, we gotta play New England, right? They know how to win here. I'm sure that wasn't the exact mentality, but at least from the fan base, was why do we have to play New England?
Right.
I'm curious to see if Kansas City can hold on to some of that mystique, because this is where the key difference, I think, between Mahomes and Brady. Mahomes came out of the gate hot.
Right.
Brady didn't. Brady had to grow into it. Brady kind of started where Mahomes is now.
Like
game managing,
yeah.
defense, head coach credit, and then grew into the, oh gosh, look at what Tom Brady's doing. He's elevating, throwing for 3,500, 4,000 yards. Yeah. That 07 team with the offense that they put together. Even in Tampa, right? You start putting up numbers in that Super Bowl. So I am so curious to see if Kansas City keeps that mystique and that mental edge.
Right.
Because Buffalo's got it for them. Next year feels like Buffalo shot. It feels like Baltimore shot.
Right.
That it is going to be a year or two before, at least to me, feels like till the back on that stage.
Right.
Can Patrick Mahomes, can Andy Reid keep that same mystique of teams still fear us? They won't say they're scared of us, but we know in crunch time, we still got it. We have that mental advantage. Or if that was more unique to that Patriots run.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, because you got to think, you got guys on there on that team, like young players like George Karlaftis, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the league 3 years, got 2 Super Bowls. How, next thing he's thinking, I need a huge contract. Chris Jones, how more invested is he going to be? Mm-hmm. You saw a little bit of lack of focus of him, especially before the game. You start to lose some of those stalwart players. They're not easily replaceable.
And you even lose the depth pieces that you picked up that were really good for you, that get that championship caliber boost, and they go get a bigger payday somewhere else. Right. You can't keep around.
What if in a couple of years Spags takes a head coaching job? He takes some of those players, or some of the lower end, or the assistant coaches go places. Mm-hmm. You lose an assistant GM, he takes some of those players.
You lost your D-line coach in Nebraska,
right?
Assistant D-line coach,
and then once you lose a GM, he's going to start to want to, assistant GM, bring some of the scouting department and everything. Mm-hmm. So when you are at the level that the Chiefs are at, and you're wounded right now, it's crazy that we're talking about Patrick Mahomes and him. Everybody knows once you win one, you're running it back with the same team. So guys got comfortable. You're seeing the remnants of it with Kelsey. So it'll be interesting to see what the new look Kansas City Chiefs is moving forward, with Kelsey for one more ride or without. Because if Kelsey's not around, they more than wounded. You're gonna see. Yeah. Kelsey's gone. He's the annoying dude. So it's It'll be interesting, man.
Kansas City's about to figure out the struggle that the other 31 NFL teams are going through. Kansas City was on that struggle bus for a while, right? We give their fans crap all the time for coming out to work and not knowing it. But Kansas City's about to figure out that they have to pick and choose where they invest because they didn't necessarily 80 route with Patrick Mahomes, who is not the most expensive quarterback in the NFL now.
He took a friendly deal with the last one.
A little bit of one. It's still quite a bit, but let's not forget, he became the first quarterback to win the Super Bowl making over 15% of his team's salary cap.
Yeah.
That happened. That's a pretty chunk of change. Yeah. That's a statement of fact. And so will Kansas City have to go the Rams route, right, where they have to pick and choose their spots to go all in, trade for bets.
A lean year and then really develop really well.
For 2 or 3 years, then you have a 2-year window. You go all in on 1 or 2 of those years and then start the process over again. Or can Kansas City find a way to flip that switch to New England mode, be able to retool, reinvent. Curious to see how they decide to walk that line.
You got to think that with the Rams before we go to break, right? You got rid of Jared Goff, kind of jettisoned him. You went all in on Stafford. Now Stafford potentially could be going to the New York Giants.
Woo!
Patrick Mahomes could end up going somewhere else. Anyways, we'll take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin. We got a. What's up, man? How you doing? You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have a.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Husker fans, Nebraska needs you in the vault for the last 2 women's basketball games on Wednesday, February 19th and Sunday, February 23rd. Their last 2 opponents, Oregon and Washington, have never played in Pinnacle Bank Arena before. Give these 2 new Big Ten members a warm Nebraska welcome and show them why Nebraska fans are the best in the nation. For a limited time, you can secure your spot at both games for just $10. This deal won't last long. Get your tickets before tip-off on Wednesday to cash in on this incredible offer. Go to Huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planner Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planners and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planner Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. As you can see right here in the middle, we have a young gentleman, man, coming right off the USA team, Jamar No Mercy Talley.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Making his debut as a professional. Obviously not new to the game. Welcome to Nebraska, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you know, I know.
No Mercy, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
No
so
Mercy, Tyler.
before we, where did the nickname come
Man, the
from?
nickname came from my head coach, Coach Chris Williams, back in Camden.
Yeah.
Camden, New Jersey, man. Earlier in my career, you know, I just come out, just letting my hands go, you know, just bringing the pressure.
Right.
And no mercy.
Right.
You know, and guys was falling, dropping.
Right.
You know, so I was
Yeah.
getting the guys out of there. So it's like, yo, man. You know, I had another nickname too. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Because like I said, I was
Uh-oh.
dropping guys.
Uh-oh.
So, but then
Yeah.
after that, he named me. He's like, yo, man, No Mercy.
Right.
That's the name.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me.
Man, what got you started in this great sport of boxing?
Man, my father, boxing is his favorite sport.
Right.
He just never had the chance to pursue it growing up. you
Right.
know. So, you know, he had 3 children, and I'm his youngest, and you know, growing up with him, man, his one of his things was like, yo, you got to know how to hold your hands, know how to protect yourself.
Right.
You know, he taught me a lot of things, like, but that was one of his
You're
one of
young.
his main things.
You're young. So you scrapping with the siblings growing up?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. He had us sparring out, and we would get into our own little situations. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about the discipline it takes and what you learn from boxing, I was a football player. Austin was basketball. For our people, listen, talk about what you've learned through the sport of boxing and what you can carry on to win. I don't know if you have a family, but what you've learned through your dad, but then also sport of boxing.
Okay. Well, you know, boxing. Well, first and foremost, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
You know, I grew up in a 2-parent household, but I also had, you know, role models on the outside, you know, uncles and things like that would help me and, you know, mentor, things like that. So not only that, but you know, like you said, discipline. Man, boxing and discipline, man, it go hand in hand, because you got to make weight. You know, yeah, you gotta make weight. A lot of fighters don't make weight,
Right.
you know, and you look at them like that's kind of like that's weak. That's a
Right.
weak mentality. You're not making weight,
Right.
you know, and it's kind of like an excuse,
Right.
you know. So this is a way out, man. So you just get that as like, hey, this guy has no discipline,
Right.
you know. Yeah, man, and boxing has allowed me to travel the world.
Right.
You know, see the
Where you
world.
been?
Yeah, I've been to Bulgaria, Ecuador, Italy, you know, Serbia, all over the place, man.
Yeah.
So honestly, man, boxing has changed my life, man. It's
Right.
allowed me to see a lot of things, and I think if I didn't have boxing, I don't know really where I'd be today. To
Yeah.
be honest with you.
Yeah, I think when sometimes everybody thinks you choose a sport chooses you.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's coming out through your pores. You talk about making weight. We talked offline and stuff, and obviously you're at 200 pounds, but you weighed in at 196. I'm always interested in what your fight day or fight night weight will be, or what's your goal, because obviously you got to make weight, but then obviously you're going to have to rehydrate, not overeat and
Not
overhydrate.
overeat.
So what do you, how many pounds, or what will you do from tonight till tomorrow?
Well, when I weigh in, I like to like be under.
Yeah.
So to have that allowance to eat and things like that. So I'm looking to gain about like 5 pounds.
Right.
You know, nothing crazy. You know, just come in.
Right.
Feeling strong. Man, I feel good right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I haven't been down to this weight in a while. You know, I
Right.
took a little break, but now I'm getting things back rolling. Man, I feel good, in good shape. You know, I'm gonna go eat, probably gain about 5 pounds, and come fight night, burn that off.
Yeah. See, man, listen, I will tell you, man, I'm almost 50. When you don't want to be just putting on 5 pounds like that, like that at night, man.
I understand.
I wanted to ask you, man, your experience with USA Boxing.
Yes.
Talk about that, because I think now we see you making your professional debut.
Yes.
But talk about that process and how special that was, and what you're going to take from that to unleash tomorrow night.
Man, being on the USA team, man, it allows you to come across a lot of different styles of fighters. So I have a good I have 50 fights.
Right.
In fights, man, I have a lot of experience. You know, I fought like the top guys. You know, I done did this at the highest level.
Right.
You know, being on the USA team, man, I've been to almost qualified for Paris.
Right.
You know, I've been to two qualifiers.
Right.
You know, I was in the finals in both of them. You know, it didn't go my way. And,
Right.
you know, this is why, you know, it's time for me to start my pro career.
Right.
But yeah, man, I've been at the highest level of all of it, man. And for me to get that far, you know, I know that my pro career, sky's the limit, man.
Right. You know, it's never where you start, where you finish. There's greats of all times. I think from Roy Jones to even I think Floyd Mayweather, things didn't go their way. Now look
Yeah.
at them. So
Yeah.
you go right along there. Talk about your opponent. Obviously, you're more focused on what you got to do, but talk about your opponent and what you look forward to trying. Not giving away any tips, just in case they listen. But talk about your opponent and who you face tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, man, honestly, I don't know too much about him, to be honest with you. You know, I've been focusing on myself, my training camp, man, and you know, relying on what the tools and things like that I learned.
Right.
You know, and things previous in the past previous years, man.
Right.
But I'm going out here, man. I'm just looking to box, let my hands go,
Right.
put my punches together, man, and everything else will work itself out, man. I just go in there, you know, heart and confidence, man. Everything else will just work.
How helpful is it when you talk about this pre-fight, the lead-up, where, you know, a lot of other sports, baseball, it's scouting reports, football, it's a game plan, basketball, it's a scouting report. You just said you're focused more on you. How helpful is that in this lead-up to any bout that you fight, to just know, I got to focus on me. If I focus on me, I'll be good?
Man, a lot of people don't know about that. You know, you just got to trust the process, man, and you know you put the work in. So why would you go against yourself and think about all these things on the outside? You want to, you know, maintain that balloon and maintain that focus.
Right.
You know, when I say that and speaking about that, you want to maintain that focus on what you got to do.
Right.
You can't worry about outside, because once you get hit,
Yeah, it's just all about how you react.
it's how you know.
Yeah, how you react.
You know, you can say whatever until you get hit.
Right. Speaking of, you know, pattern your game, who do you pattern, or who are some of the people that you idolized growing up, or who do you try to look for, maybe catch some tips when you watch them either on tape or you see them live?
Honestly, man, growing up, watching Floyd, watching a lot of old school boxers as well. You know, Hitman Hearns, Hagler.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
watching things like that.
Yeah. It's war, right?
Yeah,
You see,
yeah.
you see, no, you right?
Yeah,
right.
little bit
Feed
of
the
Ali.
face, and it starved it out, right?
A little bit of Ali, man. A little Riddick Bowe, a little bit of just different people, man. And I kind of have a back in the day style myself,
right?
You know, when I'm boxing, so I just like to implement that in my fights as well.
Right.
Yeah.
How much an influence was Pops on that back in the day style?
Huh?
How much of an influence was your dad on that back in the day style?
Man, that's hey, rhythm. That's his biggest thing. And where I'm at now with B&B boxing, man, that's a lot. That's what they focus on, rhythm.
Right.
Rhythm. A lot of fighters don't have that. And rhythm, when you in rhythm, man, you're just flowing.
Right.
You're creating.
Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to watching you, man. You just got me hyped, man. Jamar.
Jay went Golden Gloves. You know that, right?
I did.
Jay was throwing it.
Yeah. I seen somebody get knocked out. I said, man, I got to shoot hoops.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I was doing it to get some bad energy out.
Okay.
You doing it as a professional, man.
Yes,
I was fighting because I had to. You fight because you want to. But Jamar, No Mercy Tally is here in Lincoln coming in, man. I wish you all the luck, my brother.
Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys
You
for
got to
having
do
me.
it. You got to do your
Top
thing.
sir.
Appreciate you
Sir.
coming on. We're going to take a quick break, have one more boxer on, then we're going to send it off. Jay Foreman, Old School with Austin Orman out at the complex. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual Planter Clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, February 19th and 20th. This hands-on event offers expert training on John Deere planters and performance upgrades, covering topics such as new technology, in-cab monitors, maintenance points, and options to increase your operations profits. New this year, classes on autonomy preparation and exact shot. Don't miss Landmark's Planter Clinic, February 19th and 20th in Hastings. Learn more at landmarkimp.com/events.
Husker fans, Nebraska needs you in the vault for the last two women's basketball games on Wednesday, February 19th and Sunday, February 23rd. Their last two opponents, Oregon and Washington, have never played in Pinnacle Bank Arena before. Give these two new Big Ten members a warm Nebraska welcome and show them why Nebraska fans are the best in the nation. For a limited time, you can secure your spot at both games for just $10. This deal won't last long. Get your tickets before tip-off on Wednesday to cash in on this incredible offer. Go to Huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, once again, old school crew. We are live out here at the complex, 1555 Yolanda Avenue, less than 24 hours away from the Heart of the Lion event at the complex. Doors open at 6. First bout is at 7. You can pick up tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com. We had plenty of excitement with the weigh-in, obviously pre-weigh-in. You see plenty of people taking pictures and stuff like that. Now we got somebody ready to put them hands on display.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself to the ticket listeners, man.
My name is Ali Taha. I'm currently 5-0 with 4 knockouts. God willing, tomorrow I'm going to be 6-0 with 5 knockouts, aiming for my 5th first-round stoppage in a row. So I'm excited. This is what it's all about. So I'm just glad to be a part of the show.
So, Ali, you're from?
I'm originally from Kurdistan,
Right.
out the country, but
right.
we came over here in '96. We were
Right.
sponsored by First United Methodist Church.
Sure.
We came to Lincoln, Nebraska, me and my family, and we've been here ever since.
Right.
Yep.
And what got you into the sport of boxing? That's always a great question.
Man, I just remember my dad came home with a garage sale tape, and it said Oscar De La Hoya on there, but the tape was like erased with all Floyd Mayweather. And I remember he had these diamond gloves on. At the time, I'm young, I'm like, man, what is this? And like, I always knew like Muhammad Ali and stuff was, but I never knew like, man, this guy's flashy, flamboyant, looks like he's making money, he's got cars. So it was cool.
Right.
And then I said, man, we gotta get the box. But as anyone tell you at the time, Lincoln didn't really have a gym like that,
Right.
And so just gathered the cousins up, bought some gloves, and got in garages and went from
got
there
out
until
the
we
mud.
actually got to compete and be a part of a real gym,
Right. And so what's it like when you make the decision to go from, I guess, amateur to pro, and tell us about that process and what you learned about yourself along the way?
The first thing I learned, honestly, was that, I was never a real fighter. Because,
Right.
like, when I went to Omaha and I saw they train 15 times a week.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And, like, they're really, like, everything for them is fighting their whole life. And that's all they know. And when I got there, I said, okay, see, all friends box, like, share the same thing. They all do. Not one friend's playing basketball. They're all like-minded boxers. And, man, they really work out, like, 15 times a week, 6-7 hours a day. And I come from Lincoln, where we just had Air Park, who was open twice a week,
Right.
Something I'm a real fight. When I got there, man, it took about a week to realize, man, hold up, man. Like, is this really for me? Because then you got 17-year-olds in there
Right. Yeah.
that'll make you feel like, whoa, man, hold up. So it was a big transition, but as long as you push through that grind, everything goes great. You got a great team to be a part of, so you can only get better.
You mentioned that team. Talk about your team. Who's behind you? Who's your support system? What do they mean to you?
Without this team, I don't think I'd even honestly be here today. Just B&B Boxing Academy, Omaha, Nebraska. Terrence Crawford, Bomac, Red, Saul, Lucas, Bernie, the whole team, man.
Right.
All the coaches, the greats that I'm privileged to be around, where they even give me knowledge or any type of advice. So they gave me a second life. And when they tell you, believe in yourself, and you go through the process and you go through all the hard work, then you're doing something right, because at the end of the day, they're a real team, and they don't like to fabricate or sugarcoat nothing.
Right.
You just get hurt in there otherwise. So they're everything to me, man.
And boxing's not about fabrication.
Not
You
at
learn
all.
the cold hard truth pretty quick, don't you?
Yeah. Or if you don't, if somebody don't tell you, look, man, maybe this ain't for you.
Right.
I don't think they really care about you then, because you could seriously get hurt. You
Right.
know what I mean?
And talk about, obviously, you're looking forward to go to, get another victory.
Yep.
But talk about the anxiety, but then also the excitement, though, before
Yeah.
your first professional fight. I'm thinking about my first professional football game. Talk about your first professional fight. We're like, all right, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm about to go out and showcase my skills. And then has that process, I wouldn't say became easier, but you're more familiar with it.
Yeah. My pro debut, it was just a little different, just because like everyone tells you, this the pro debut, this special.
Right.
Like embrace it all, do every, you know what I mean? Like your outfit, your music, everything is very special too. I just remember at the time, man, like 2 days before it, I was at the movie theater trying to get my mind off of the fight.
Yeah.
And I remember I was texting my coach Bo saying, Bo, you think I should fight? Because I feel a little sick, my throat hurt. And then
Yeah.
he just told me straight, he goes, you scared. Like you scared, this happens. Sometimes you get sick with nerves. Like
Right.
it's too late. You already got all these fans coming,
Right.
show up and show out. And I was still nervous, but
Yeah.
and then I remember even 10 minutes before the fight, I remember I was in the porta potty.
Yeah.
I think Bud recognized that. He came up and he just, what music you walking out, came with his kids.
Yeah,
That's my comfort zone, you know.
right.
And I remember walking out. He told me slow down, like enjoy your moment. And it was just it was very exciting, eager to get in there, man. You know,
Right.
and you really don't know what to expect in your pro debut. So it's not like these other fights where you're just supposed to do your job,
Yeah,
build your
right.
name. It's like go show us if
Right.
you're worth being with us or not. You
Yeah.
know.
What do you remember about the debut? What stuck with you?
To be completely upfront, someone like Terrence, man, not just because like to the public he's Terrence Crawford, but to me it was someone like I've had as a brother my whole life, and to see where my life was at before that,
Right.
like it was nowhere truly. Like I was in a car, COVID, where everyone was scared of COVID,
Right.
homeless, living in Omaha, trying to work at Omaha Steaks, and he embraced me, man. No one hit me up, no one would respond to me, and I remember the only man who picked up at 3 a.m. March 13th of 2020 was Terrence Crawford on Instagram. The man who should act stuck up or whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
He was the only one there for me, and he let me know, man, come to Omaha. Like, we'll take you to camp and go pro. Like, you know what I mean? And from March to June, I was at camp and getting ready to go pro later that year in September. So
Man, that's
I owe it
awesome.
all to them.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And not only to, sometimes I think the biggest block is just taking your shot, right?
Mhm.
And then you're able to receive it with somebody that's both at the top of his game, but also humble and been there before. Because we just actually a couple segments before we talked about Terrence Crawford's story. Sometimes he talked about when he first started fighting for about $60 and how
Yeah.
so he never forgot where he came from,
Mhm.
and you're a product of that. Talk about your style, though, and what to expect tomorrow night when you step in the ring.
Man, so tomorrow I'm gonna try to box and have fun and use my jab and show people here that I'm more than just coming in there and trying to hurt someone and get them out. I really box beautifully. I can move nice. I got a beautiful jab, man. I got good footwork. I want to show that I'm not gonna lie and come up here and act like that's easy to do, because when you're in the moment, you can calm things down and all that. But when the adrenaline going, you see them hurt. We don't get paid for overtime at the end of the day, and crazy things happen. You get accidentally elbowed. Some can happen, get cut where get him out of there. But my style, man, I like to just come forward and keep my hands up and figure them out. What you gonna throw at me, I'm gonna figure out what to throw back at you. And I believe the first couple of shots I land, when they actually don't sit there for me, because like I said, I'm going for my 5th first round knockout in a row. So that's big for me tomorrow. I'm trying to do that. So
Get in, get out, Mr.
we
Efficiency. I
don't
love
get
that,
paid
man.
for
I love that.
overtime, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're also familiar with the venue, right? Lincoln, I mean, you're familiar with it. It's a new place,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the same place.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be boxing in Champion Fun, son. You're at the complex now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you do get natural nerves. Like, okay, I ain't boxing here before, and okay, the canvas isn't like the fabric. I'm used to it's rub. You know what I mean? So
Right.
all those things do come in your head, but I like to visualize.
Right.
So 2 weeks ago, I'm already Googling the last event
Right.
and seeing what the ring is, and when I'm visualizing, I'm like, okay, my visualization was a black ring. Now I got to do a blue ring and visualize.
Right.
And it helps me, it really do, man. When you shadow and you put everything together that last week, it helps to know how the venue's gonna look, how the ring gonna look, all that, man.
We'll ask you one more question before we get you out of here. I always ask guys, from when you weigh in, from when you obviously walk down the aisle, how much weight do you usually put back on, from weigh in or not? Don't give away too much secrets, but it's
Man,
always fascinating.
I was laughing because I'm gonna tell you, man. Look, man. So for example, this fight, I'll be up front. My fight weight class is 118.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So not a lot of people can make that weight. And so this fight, just 2 days ago, they told me it's not 118. It's like 124, 125. I'm like, dang, I walk around at 124, 123.
Right.
I really do. But it's hard to get fights at 118, 114, my true
Right.
weight class until you get up there. So we take 118, and like this one, that's why I came in 122.
Right.
And my last fight, the guy was 137,
Right.
and I was 118. The commission had to write 127 on there to allow it.
Right.
So it helps my mind,
Right.
because I'm like, man, the dudes in my weight class, my size, it just makes me feel like I could walk through them.
Right.
So I don't gain much weight, man. Like right now, I've ate all day. I've done my thing because I knew the weight was gonna be a little up there. And after this, I'm gonna go eat a gyro and nothing special. Wake up in the morning, eat my same. They call it the Ollie special at camp with butter.
What is the Ollie special? We got to know.
Ground beef, eggs, spinach. That with a little piece of my mom's bread.
Yeah.
And then lunch, I eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. About 16 ounces of chicken, a bunch of rice with broccoli with some potatoes, and then dinner time. What I'll bring to the fight with me is a banana, canned peanuts, and some berries and stuff. Brain energy food. You know what I'm saying?
There it is, man.
Yep.
That's the meal of a champion right
Yes,
there.
sir.
Plus, he's gonna get him I call him gyros. He's about to go
Yeah,
get
man, I
him.
gotta get one of those.
Yeah, man. That hits right on point, man. But we're up against the clock. Ali, all the good luck. We know you're gonna pull through. We look forward to watching you tomorrow night. Jay Foreman, Austin, Ali, Old School Crew live out here at the complex. We'll see you tomorrow night here, but we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys, man.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
God bless.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now, and if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year, and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island, online at sartorheyman.com.